Big thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring today's video. A month ago, I posted a photo on Instagram sharing how I have been feeling much more connected to the moon and my own moon cycle, and how I've been able to free myself from period cramps and how I've been able to live more accordingly with those different seasons and phases throughout my menstrual cycle. Period pains are very common, they're very typical, but they're not normal. Our bodies work on cyclic timing just like the moon. The women's cycle is around 29 days. For some people it will be shorter, like 21 or 30 or a little bit over 30, but more or less around that. And 29 days, 29.5 days is actually the exact cyclical time of the moon. Most women have their periods either on the new moon or on the full moon. Once I've been able to connect with all of that, I'm seeing the true potential in each season of my moon and my cycle, and how can I best live my life and embrace every benefit and treasures that each season holds. So what I want to do is that at each season I want to share how I've been feeling physically, emotionally, energetically, and mentally. So let's look at how I feel physically in my spring and how you might feel as well. I feel like my body has a lot of energy, feels really confident, really out there. My body is feeling a lot of energy. I feel like I could really do anything, but it also doesn't feel really strong and grounded. So I find it really hard to kind of find stability in my body. I find it hard at times to feel grounded in my body in the spring season. I just get all of this wave of energy and I just want to like do. But in terms of movement, because I have all of this energy available to me, I want to move my body a lot. So I want to run, I want to hike, I want to dance, everything where like there's a lot of movement. And what I've realized is that in this phase I tend to like go really intensely into my movements, and that will be reminded to me because every time that I do, then the body gets tired and then I have to find a more stable pace. But I tend to have a bit of this, like I sprint and I get tired and so I walk. And through this I'm able to kind of find common ground. Still learning, almost like limitless potential and energy coming to me in this phase where I'm able to like really play its limits. If you're a competitive athlete, that can be a really good time to compete because there's a lot of energy available. What's important is to channel that energy and I find that when I get too scattered, then I also feel mentally scattered in everything else in my life. So kind of like see how physically can I channel that energy in ways that I want. And for me this week was also about trying something new. I find that it's important for me to have this balance of like channeling my physical energy into like practices that I really care about, like yoga and running, and it's also a beautiful time for me to experience something new, or try something new that I've been wanting to, because there's all of this energy and this confidence in my body, then I don't feel so scared to step a little bit out of my comfort zone, which can actually be really good for me as well. So last week I went surfing, for example, and I hadn't surfed in 2 years, and I'm a very beginner surfer, but it was really fun, and I could feel how my body was like ready to receive and to try and just to go for it. Emotionally, I'm feeling a lot of excitement, a lot of spontaneity. I feel also a lot of generosity. I just want to give everything out. Sometimes an overload of excitement becomes this like anxiety that it just depends on how we choose to look at it. Sometimes it kind of transfers into stress or anger or overwhelm. I feel really grateful that I'm able to generate all of these emotions on such an intense level and feel them, truly, and it can feel a little bit like ungrounding and a little bit disabilitating. For me, what's been really important emotionally is like, well, I can like really enjoy it and like also keep some for my own cup as well, and not just give it all away. And because I could have the tendency to just want to share it all with the world and not keep any for myself. The way I do that is through maintaining certain practices like yoga, for example, or dancing. It allows me to feel present and cultivate presence while also being in movement with my body, which my body's craving a lot in this phase, as opposed to just like sitting down where my body will be buzzing the whole time and want to move. So yeah, just also allowing those waves to come and see, well, meditation helps me, but it's what about meditation helps me? It's presence, emotional presence. And in my spring, sometimes that will come more easily through the body as opposed through just being still. Energetically, so do I want to be social? Do I want to be one-on-one with people? Or do I like big groups in this phase of the month? In the spring, I find that energetically, I love being social. I love being around people. Obviously, in moderation, I also love my own space and I feel really good with myself. So it's also a beautiful time for me to reconnect to that like playfulness and confident self that I feel within, and not just cultivate that with other people around. So it's like finding a balance, but it is a time that definitely I feel more open to welcome new people in my life, that I feel more interested in getting to know others, a lot of energy. So I feel like, wow, I want to give that love and energy to others. And it can sometimes, like, if I'm not feeling grounded, and then it's like it doesn't come from this most present place. I love being around my friends in this time, and I love one-on-one, and I also like to welcome new people, and I'm also not scared of meeting new people. I'm actually interested in people. And finally, mentally, I feel very creative and spontaneous in the spring season of my month. I feel like I'm able to generate a lot of ideas, a lot of thoughts, and it can also go all over the place, which is fine. And if things keep coming, then maybe they're actually meant to be there. But I find it's not a time for me to take any like rush decision. It's important for me to like let a whole cycle kind of move through. And if there are certain decisions that I have been wanting to make and haven't, this is a beautiful time to actually put that into execution and into being done. Like, I found it's a beautiful time also for me to execute things like tasks, projects that has been there already and that I've been wanting to do for a while and never gave myself the time and energy and space. And now all of this energy is available, so I can choose to channel it towards that specific project or endeavor. And one big thing for me recently has been to redo my own website. My website was created with Squarespace. I have created my website with them a couple years ago, and I'm really loving it, and I want to keep using my website. But recently I've been also focusing my attention onto other projects outside of that, for YouTube and the podcast, and I've been feeling like I want to welcome someone in my team to help me out with that. So this week I had a call with a new person that's going to be joining my team, and that was something that I'm so grateful that I honored to do in my spring phase, because I felt really open to give and receive. One thing that has been really important for me is to realize, wow, I want to keep my website. I love my website, and right now my creativity, my heart is led in other directions than redesigning my own website, and I want to receive help and give myself help with that and co-create something with somebody else and not just by myself. And Squarespace is a beautiful place if you want to do it alone, or if you have other people in your team and they want to help and bring that creation together. If you've been feeling like creating your own website and that's something that you've been feeling called to do, definitely check out Squarespace. If you're feeling like really out there and you're also in the spring and summer phase of your cycle, maybe that's a really good time to take the leap and jump in and dive in and go for it and get what you want and create what you want with Squarespace. Squarespace offers a free trial at squarespace.com if you want to experiment with it, feel the platform, be on it. And then if you've created your own website or you started the process and actually want to launch it and move ahead with Squarespace, you can go to squarespace.com/Cloikian. That link will offer you a 10% off your order of a domain or a website. If something is just popping out for the first time, maybe give yourself a month so you can really feel into it, like how you feel about it in a week or 2 weeks from now. I find that sometimes in my spring, my mind, my mental can be really scattered, and I want to try this new thing and that new thing, and I want to experiment with a lot of things, and it's beautiful to do that. And that's also when, like, I can, for example, shop for things that I actually don't need or care, or that aren't really a reflection of who I am, like, as a whole. It's more just who I am in the moment, because it's so much spontaneous. I find that, like, giving things a little bit of time, it's beautiful. If something has been there before, it's a beautiful time to execute it and, like, not necessarily bring it to life, but put your energy into. And also just like certain things on the to-do list that I feel so much resistance in doing, that I don't want to take care of. I find that with all this energy that I have in spring, I can actually execute tasks that I don't feel maybe as excited about much more easily than I would in another season of my month. I'm able to, like, execute and move through those things much faster and much smoother, and just, like, take one thing at a time. And it's actually a really beautiful practice for me to just, spring cleaning my life on a mental, emotional, physical, and emotional level, energetical level. So spring can be also a really beautiful time to clean up a little bit and look, okay, what's been going on, what do I want to create now? So that's it for today. Thank you so much for being here and for watching this video and spending this moment with me. If you want to stay tuned for the next seasons, make sure you subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, so you get notified whenever a new video goes up. Next week is going to be summer, and then fall, and then winter, and we're going to go through all of these phases together, and I'd love you to be here, obviously, if that's something you're feeling called to. And yeah, I'm really excited for this new series and project, and really happy also to have you all along.